Remember my last video saying OZEV had a new grant for electric cars and they put thousands of hoops that would make Sonic the Hedgehog jealous? Well, guess what? Since the grant's been launched and already been applied for by some customers, they've added yet another hoop. So in today's video we're going to be finding out what that extra hurdle is that you have to cross now to get an electric car with a grant, and a car finally qualifies for the full £3,750 grant. Let's recap what the Office of Zero Emissions, OZEV for short, introduced. Well, in July, they announced that there would be a new electric car grant for new electric cars up to £3,750 off the price of the car. It came in two bands. The lower band got £1,500 and it was part of a £650 million fund that should last to at least 2028, possibly even to 2029. It's basically until the money runs out. However, this story is constantly evolving, and if you want to follow and stay in the loop with that, make sure you click subscribe, that notification bell, because it's already changed since my last video a few weeks ago, and I'm going to try and keep this updated as quick as I can. So what's changed since my initial video? Well, initially what would happen is any manufacturer that had a drivetrain and battery size that were matched with an entry price under £37,000, all the cars which were more expensive than £37 as long as they had that same drive and train in the same model, they all qualified. So that means you could sell a Kona 64 kilowatt hour battery with under £37,000, but you could have a top level trim at, I don't know, £52,000 with every option, every colour option, everything you wanted on it. However, the government gave car dealers, OEMs, 12 hours notice to get on the system all cars registered that had sold, because they're changing it now, which means that if your car is over £42,000, you can't get the grant. Now that means that if your order wasn't placed at the dealer at the time that they made this announcement, or the dealer didn't log it onto the system by midnight of the night that it was announced, you will not get the grant. Now most dealers are clever and they put the order through the day you give them the deposit, but bear in mind, if you haven't ordered an EV yet and it's now over that price, you will not be getting the grant off it unless it's under that new threshold that's been announced. Now, apart from that news that was announced on the 28th of August, OZEV is also pumping in an additional £25 million into cross-pavement charging, £30 million for depot chargers, and £8 million for the NHS site chargers, which means a lot more charging infrastructure is going into civil service places at the NHS, and it should improve the ease on public charge points that are used at the moment. Now, when I previously made the video, no cars were announced on who was going to qualify. We now have a list of manufacturers that qualify for Band 1 and Band 2. I was predicting that Renault and some Peugeot and some other French cars would qualify for the higher £3,750 grant. Basically, no one qualified for the £3,750 grant. And however, very recently, we do have one new car that does. Now, it looks like the Ford Puma Gen E will qualify for the new electric car grant. I believe the drivetrain is made in the UK. And also, I've heard that Mini will be coming back to Oxford for car production. That will mean that that will qualify. And I've also heard that the Nissan Leaf is going to start production back in the UK. And that will mean, again, another car that will qualify for the full grant. Now, it does look like the government's plan to bring back some manufacturing for electric car building over here is working due to this new car grant, which has surprised me because it's not exactly a huge grant. But I'd love to know what other manufacturers you think might be making cars back in the UK. Let me know down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, maybe see the full video of the true OZEV grant when I first announced it up here. And don't forget to click subscribe as this story evolves.